Hey, this is Dave from DIY Domination. Have you ever wanted to learn how to make your own homemade fertilizers? Well, today we're going to embark on a journey of discovery, exploring the world of homemade fertilizers. Imagine having the ability to nourish your plants in a way that not only saves you money but also contributes positively to our environment. Sounds appealing, doesn't it? We're going to delve into a variety of homemade fertilizer recipes, each one offering unique benefits to your plants. From the potassium-rich banana peel fertilizer that benefits flowering plants to the nitrogen-packed coffee grounds, fertilizer perfect for acid-loving plants like tomatoes and roses. We'll also discover the benefits of eggshell, Epsom salt, fish emulsion, weed tea, and compost tea fertilizers, each one packed with nutrients vital for plant growth. So, if you're ready to boost your garden in a cost-effective and environmentally friendly way, you're in the right place. Stay tuned as we dive into these simple yet effective homemade fertilizer recipes. By the way, if you like this video and want to see more videos with advice on sustainable farming and gardening, make sure to click the subscribe button and leave a comment down below saying, "I subscribed," and we'll do our best to reply to your comment. First up, we have the banana peel fertilizer. Now this is an easy-to-make, cost-effective, and environmentally friendly fertilizer that your flowering plants will absolutely love. Here's what you need to do. Start by collecting banana peels. The more the merrier. Once you've got a good bunch, chop them into small pieces. These bits will be easier to blend, and that's your next step. Using a blender, mix the banana peel pieces with a bit of water to create a banana peel puree. Now, this puree is potent stuff, so you'll want to dilute it before you use it on your plants. A good rule of thumb is to use a 1:5 ratio of puree to water. Once you've got that all mixed up, you can use it to water your plants. Banana peels are rich in potassium, which is just what flowering plants need to bloom beautifully. This potassium-rich fertilizer is perfect for flowering plants. Moving on, let's explore the eggshell fertilizer. This method is a fantastic way to recycle kitchen waste, turning it into a valuable resource for your plants. First, you'll need to save your eggshells. After your breakfast omelet or your Sunday baking, don't throw them away. Instead, let them dry out naturally. Once they're dry, you'll want to crush these eggshells into small pieces. You can do this by hand or with a mortar and pestle. Now you're ready for the exciting part. Sprinkle these crushed eggshells around the base of your plants. It's as simple as that. This technique is especially beneficial for plants that love calcium, like tomatoes, peppers, and eggplants. The crushed eggshells slowly decompose, releasing calcium into the soil. This helps promote healthy root development, which in turn leads to stronger, more vibrant plants. Eggshells add calcium to the soil, promoting healthy root development. Next, we look at the coffee grounds fertilizer. This method leverages a resource that many of us have readily available at home: used coffee grounds. Rich in nitrogen, coffee grounds can be an excellent supplement to your garden. The first step is to gather your coffee grounds. After enjoying your morning cup of joe instead of tossing the grounds, save them for your plants. Once collected, allow the coffee grounds to dry. The drying process is crucial as it prevents any unwanted mold or fungi from developing. After they're dry, you're ready to use them. Simply sprinkle the dried coffee grounds around the base of your plants. But remember, not all plants will enjoy this coffee treat. This fertilizer is most beneficial for acid-loving plants. So if you have tomatoes or roses in your garden, they'll certainly appreciate this nitrogen-rich addition. This fertilizer is ideal for acid-loving plants like tomatoes and roses. Now, let's learn about the Epsom salt fertilizer. Epsom salt, known scientifically as magnesium sulfate, is a fantastic, cost-effective way to provide a nutrient boost to your plants. This simple compound can do wonders, particularly for magnesium-loving plants like peppers and tomatoes. To whip up this fertilizer, you'll need 1 to 2 tablespoons of Epsom salt. Now, take a gallon of water and dissolve the Epsom salt in it. Stir it well until the Epsom salt is completely dissolved. Now this solution is ready to nourish your plants. Use it to water your green companions. Their roots will soak up the magnesium and sulfur, essential nutrients that help them flourish. But remember, moderation is key. Apply this Epsom salt solution once a month during the growing season. This will give your plants a steady supply of magnesium, which is vital for photosynthesis and plant growth. Remember to apply this once a month during the growing season, especially to magnesium-loving plants. Then, we have the fish emulsion fertilizer. A fantastic choice for those who want to give their plants a hearty meal, full of nutrients like nitrogen and phosphorus. Making this fertilizer is as simple as it is effective. Begin by mixing 1 part fish emulsion with 2 parts water. It's a straightforward process, but the results can be game-changing for your garden. This concoction creates a nutrient-dense solution that your plants will simply love. Using this mixture to water your plants introduces a rich source of nutrients directly into their root systems. This encourages healthy growth and robust development throughout the growing season. But remember, moderation is key. This nutrient-rich fertilizer should be applied every 2 to 4 weeks during the growing season. It's all about providing your plants with a steady diet of nutrients, not overwhelming them with a sudden feast. So treat your plants to a seafood dinner with the fish emulsion fertilizer. This nutrient-rich fertilizer should be applied every 2 to 4 weeks during the growing season. Next up is the Tea Fertilizer. This DIY fertilizer is a great way to transform pesky weeds into a nutrient-rich treat for your plants. Start by collecting weeds from your garden. Just make sure they aren't carrying any seeds. We don't want to encourage more weeds, right? Once you have enough, place them in a bucket. Next, add water to the bucket and let it sit for a few weeks. Patience is key here. Stir the mixture occasionally to help the weeds break down and release their nutrients into the water. With time, you'll notice the water turning a deep greenish hue, a sign that it's ready. The final step is to strain the liquid, separating the weed remnants from your homemade fertilizer. Use this weed tea to water your plants regularly. It's a simple, cost-effective, and eco-friendly way to provide a variety of nutrients to your plants. Finally, we have the Compost Tea. A natural concoction steeped in nutrients, it's a favorite for many green thumbs out there. Making it is quite simple. You start by filling a bucket with compost. Any compost will do, but the richer the compost, the more nutrient-packed your tea will be. Next, you add water. Ideally, you want a ratio of 5 parts water to 1 part compost. This isn't an exact science, so you can adjust as needed. Once your compost and water are combined, it's time to let it steep. Think of it as brewing a giant pot of tea. Only this tea is for your plants. A few days should do the trick, but you can let it steep longer if you prefer. Remember to stir occasionally to help the nutrients fully dissolve. After it's steeped, you'll need to strain the liquid. What you're left with is a nutrient-rich fertilizer that your plants will love. Before we end, here are some important tips and reminders. Creating and using homemade fertilizers is an art as much as it is a science. It's essential to remember that less is often more. Over-fertilizing can lead to a buildup of salts that can damage your plants. Therefore, always dilute your homemade fertilizers with water, especially the ones that are particularly rich, like banana puree, fish emulsion, and compost tea. Another crucial aspect is to monitor the pH level of your soil. Soil pH can significantly impact how well your plants can take up nutrients from the soil. Most plants prefer a pH between 6 and 7, but certain plants may require more specific conditions. If you find your soil's pH is out of balance, you can adjust it using lime to raise the pH or sulfur to lower it. Remember, different plants have different nutrient requirements. For instance, flowering plants like roses love potassium, so they'd benefit from banana peel fertilizer. Acid-loving plants like tomatoes and roses thrive with coffee ground fertilizer. Peppers and tomatoes are fond of magnesium, making Epsom salt fertilizer a great choice for them. That said, it's also important to adjust your fertilizers based on the specific needs of your plants. If your tomatoes are looking a little yellow, they might need a nitrogen boost. If your roses aren't blooming as they should, they might need more potassium. Lastly, don't hesitate to seek advice from local gardening experts. They can provide specific advice based on your region, soil type, and the types of plants you're growing. They can also help you figure out how to adjust your homemade fertilizers to best meet your plant's needs. With these homemade fertilizers, you're well on your way to a more sustainable and cost-effective gardening experience. If you like this video, then make sure to also watch these videos for more DIY sustainable farming tips.